So, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us for another Friday talk. Today it's the innovation talk in the Faculty of Engineering, and we have invited today Kathrine Myhre, that is the Director General of Patentstyret, is the Norwegian Industrial Property Office, and she will talk with us about the innovation and how it's seen from the state view. She has a broad background and expertise in innovation, business, and strategy, and she will tell us more about herself and what Patentstyret is doing and how they can support the innovation and the research in the universities. So, Kathrine, you have the floor, please.
Thank you so much, Myhre. And first of all, good morning to everyone. And thank you for asking me to actually join you for this talk. And what I'm trying to go, 15 minutes, short time, but we will talk about, how to go from R&D to product and solution in the global markets. And of course, focusing on IP. And then maybe some of you know, I'm also part of the Export Council of the Government of Norway. So export is also one of my passions, if I may say. So I will, in the end, also dig into that just a little bit. So what I thought I'll talk about, and the presentation will be in Norwegian, me speaking English. I hope that is okay. But I'll give you a short overview of Patentstyret. The English name is, as Myhre was saying, Norwegian Industrial Property Office. And then we will talk about why is it important to actually make sure to have that you are the one that are having the rights to your innovations, to your products, and to your services if you develop. And I know NTNU quite well, not as well as you, of course, but I've been in the R&D ecosystem for 30, almost maybe 40 years, not 40, but 30 years. So, and I know that you are very much innovative thinking. So I'll try to have that in the back of my mind when speaking. I will give you a short introduction to the services of Patentstyret and how we can help you. And then I'll digging a little bit into patents in general. Why is it important and how is this, some of the, just a little bit. And then we will talk about IP and export. So who is Patentstyret? Well, we are, first of all, we are reporting to the Ministry of Industry. We are the one that are taking care of the, we used to call ourselves a competence center for IPR in Norway. And we assist businesses and R&D researchers, everyone that do have an ID and are interested in finding out how to actually make sure to have the rights to your own IP. And that's what we do. And I'll, so if you would like to make sure to have your rights and being the one that are actually having them, you can send an application to us, whether it's a trademark, whether it is a design application or patent application. And all of these three are, well, we talk a lot about IP strategy. It's very important to make sure that you have an IP strategy. And I'll have an example to show, and I will show you that many times it's not the only patent or only design, and maybe it's all three or other ways of taking care of your IP as well. In addition to that, we do have a lot of courses, presentations like this. I'll also tell you a little bit about how we can, because maybe you wonder whether your innovation is patentable. Have someone else actually done this before you? So in order to find out, you can also do, or our examiners can help you to do freedom to operate analysis, for example. I'll tell a little bit about that later. And then we also do what we call landscape analysis. So for example, on the health area, wind area, we have broader reports that we also are making. And what we're trying to do is to also use all the statistics in general that we are having and bring that also out to the industry, to the R&D, in order for the ecosystem out there to understand the broad landscape on areas in general. We're also doing mentoring to students, and I know that we're doing that for the NTNU as well. and in addition to a lot of other things. But these are some key things when it's about how do we try to build competence on IP. Sadly, there are too few people, too few companies that actually are aware of the importance of IP. So we do have a quite big task. So that's also why I'm really happy for you asking me to actually doing this today, because IP is really, really core. So why is it important to be the one that have the exclusive right to your innovation? Because if you apply for a design, for a patent, for a trademark, and you actually obtain the rights, that means that you do have the exclusive rights to commercialize. So what is actually IP giving you? Well, first of all, it gives you competitiveness. It gives you an edge. It means that you are the one that are having the right to actually create the product and bring that product to the market. If someone is trying to copy you, and again, sadly to say, 30% of companies in Norway are being copied or being tried copied. It's a lot. So this is also one of the reasons why IP is important. But it actually gives you an edge, and it gives you competitiveness in the Norwegian market, but also, of course, in the global market. What we also see is that it attracts competence, talent, and capital. Again, for example, in the health space, it's hard to get investment capital if you do not have a good and solid IP strategy. This is also, I mean, in Norway, again, we are trying also to bring this competence to the investors. They also need to really understand why this is important with the IP and IP strategy. But again, it's really, really important also when you come to due diligence and these types of things, that you do have a good and solid IP strategy. I was mentioning copying and having and taking care and having a good strategy with regards to IP also reduces the risk for conflicts, and other companies are also going after you. Some of you might have heard about AutoStore and how many millions they have spent in the court defending their IP. So again, if you do have a solid strategy, which are kind of thought through also with regards to global markets, if you're going global, that's really, really important. And also, it's actually also the right, not the only type of insurance to secure the both public, but also of course the private investments that are being done. So if the NTNU, I don't know if you have a fund in NTNU, but I do know that there are funds, that are in Trondheim area as well, that are investors putting funding in, Innovation Norway putting funding in, making sure that you're taking care of your IP is an insurance also for those that are putting the funding in to hopefully get as much out of the investments as possible. So these are some core things. Also, I would like to highlight that back in 1975, only 17% of an invention was what we call immaterial values. Today, it's more than 90%. And for you, many of you being, maybe all of you being researchers, it's about your knowledge. This is a way of taking care of your ideas, your inventions, and your knowledge. And as you can see, in general, 90% of the values in companies today are immaterial. It's not a building, it's what you're doing. So that's something to be aware of. So what is driving innovation these days? Well, as we know, it's the demographical changes. The green shift and sustainability is one of the drivers, digitalization, and in Norway, the need for export. These are some of the drivers, and I'm pretty sure that you are in the middle of it, to say. I wanted to show you this boat. It's called Expo. I like the picture very much. It's an invention from Ulstein Gruppen. And what I'll try to show you is that, because I asked Tore Ulstein, who is the president of the company, and I asked him, so what is the value of Expo in the market today? And he said, well, it's 100 million NOK. And then I asked him, so how much of that value can you actually relate back to you taking care of the IP? And he said, well, I guess 50%. So 50 billion Norwegian crowns. And what they have done, just to give an example of an IP strategy, they have patents, they have design rights, they have trademarks, several ones. For example, Ulstein Expo and Expo. And I do not know whether this is everything, but the point is that the combination of the different ways of taking care of your IP is important here. And another thing is that so many of the companies today, the development is going very, very fast. And we know that some companies actually decide to not patent, for example, but what they rely on and what their IP strategy could be is to keep things secret. They have a very high speed, but very often they need to market themselves. And in order to do so and be having their trade or their logo for themselves, they need to trademark. So that's another type of strategy, just so that you know that there's several ways in order to actually build a solid IP strategy. That's give you the edge and the competitiveness that you need. Another thing is that this is from an European report. What we see is that the companies that do have several rights, for example, trademark and design, have as much as 63% higher reward avkastning than companies without. So that's also, you actually, when it comes to the economy side of things as well, this is really valuable. Okay, so now I'm moving into an area where the experts, I'm not an expert, I'm the kind of generalist. And then normally I have a picture of Fredrik, so I'll show him to you. He's really an expert in this field. So if this is something that you would like to follow up with, we can make sure for you to link up with him. But anyway, so who is having the right to a patent? So first of all, this is from the patent law, the paragraph 1, and it says that you need to have it, if it's a technical area, the one that have done the invention, and if this can be used for industrial purposes, they have a right to apply for a patent, and then for a patent on the invention, and as that having been the exclusive right to commercialize this. This is in Norwegian. I was very quickly trying to translating it, but I'm pretty sure if you want to, we can also translate it so that you have it in English. But I'm pretty sure you understand what it is. So, what is a patent? So, a patent is something that is a concrete solution in a technical problem that is actually being beskyttet, taken care of. Yes, so that you have the right to this one. So, and then I was asked to say something about, so how long time does it actually take? So if you have an idea, you apply for a patent application. We have something called fast track. So we can do the examinations in 4 months, but normally the examinations take 7 months. And then you read something called førsterealitet, which is what did we find in 4 months or in 7 months. And people that are doing this is persons like Fredrik. I'll show you who him is. We have a lot of people, about 100 people in Patentstyret, having technical background, many of them with PhD, the rest of them with master's degree, and many of them from NTNU, sitting beside me in the office here. Yes. And then førsterealitet will give you a very good overview whether this is actually patentable or not. And then there's second and third reality, and then it's also dialogue with you as the customer with regards to this. And either you will get the patent if someone else is not having done exactly the same as you, or not, then it will be headlocked. But there's a dialogue with you as a customer during that period. So what can you apply for when it comes to a patent? Well, you can apply for if there's a product, if there's a way of doing things, anvendelse, so how do you use this, and what we call anordning in Norwegian. And again, Fredrik is the one that should really ask or answer the deeper questions here. So when our examiners are doing the examination, there are 5 steps. So is this an invention? Is this invention new? Is this invention oppfinnerisk? Yes. And is this possible to use in the industry, industrielt anvendbart? And is this invention written down very clear and obviously? That's also something that they look into. So, and here are some of our services. So yes, we do examine all the applications in all the 3 different areas. But as I was mentioning, you can contact us and have some kind of pre-examination to find out, okay, has someone actually done this before? And the reason is that we are having access to global databases with all the data on, for example, patents, but also on trademarks. And you can ask us and we can look into these databases or use these databases to actually give you feedback before you actually apply. That is also very often very, how can I say, cost effective. Because if someone else has done exactly the same as you don't have to spend more time, or maybe you twist it a bit and then it's something else that someone else has not done. So these are things that are, or services that we also give. Yes, the rest I think I mentioned. One thing I also would like to mention, we have new logo and the new websites. And the new websites are actually, they're quite good. So if you are wondering, and you're very welcome to go in and have a look right now, but they are twisted away so that it's what we're trying to do is actually to answer your questions, typically obvious questions that you would have as an inventor, even either if it's first time or second time or third time that you are doing this. And there's also this search service on the website, which you can go in both on the trademarks and on patents and design and find out things by yourself as well. And then I also would like to highlight the customer service center that we are having. We're actually with the best, for the 5th year, 23, we were scored as the best public service center. And the reason is that it's not only someone taking the phone, it's experts taking the phone and answering the questions. So that's also for you to actually, pick up the phone or send an email. And you have the presentation after, so here you have the contact information. And then this is Fredrik, just as an example. He's the chief engineer in Patentstyret. He has a PhD in chemistry from University of Oslo, and he is one of the experts that really can, answer deep and broad questions. And also, I mean, he's also a great presenter. So if you really would like to dig more into this area, he's very happy to do so. 2 more slides. I'll just wanted to also draw the attention to export. Because as you're I'm pretty sure you're quite aware of, Norway is really lagging behind when it's come to export. We need to build new industries and we want them to be as green as possible as well. And the government has put up a kind of a task for us to actually raise the export with 50% by 2030. And as I was mentioning, I'm part of the Norwegian Export Council. And so far, it's 5 different industries that have been chosen. It's Havvind, green maritime, health is one of the also industries. And then it's design and production. And then next week, we will actually finalize the report on tourism. And then there's a 6th industry being talked about, and that is all the industry which is delivering equipment to fish farming. So that's, we guess, the next. And I would just wanted to let you know, and there will be more, hopefully, as well. And I just wanted to let you know, because at least, hopefully, the government will put some money into these areas in order to actually also, how can I say, fuel the ecosystem when it comes to innovation. Having also said that, I know that Myhre knows a lot about the EU system, and I know also that NTNU are really, really good at actually attracting funding from EU, in addition to Research Council in Norway, etc. And I know EU is very much aware of IP. You need to have a strategy very often, at least, when you apply to EU funding. And hopefully the Research Council as well is getting more and more aware of the necessity of IP when it comes to actually innovation and making products and solutions that someone is interested in investing in, and for you to actually have and keep the competitiveness when it comes to going global when the product is out in the market. So that was quick. That's what I was thinking as a kind of presentation, and then I'm happy to answer questions as well. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Kathrine. Thank you for this presentation and this overview.